raised, as you had said that we discuss it in the meeting.
Yeah,
It's only a, yeah, it's only
we'll
a one
start with
line.
that.
Yeah, it's only a one line change. But, yeah, I just increased the margin section, the styles.js file, and the deployment link looks pretty good. I just made a small mistake of not signing off the last commit, which caused the DCO check to not pass, and I couldn't fix it. I think I DM'd you about it. But yeah, that's it from my side on the PR.
Yeah, we'll be quickly taking a look at how you can configure DCO automatically. So whenever you either make commit through GitHub UI or through command line, how it will be signing it on behalf of you automatically. So we'll be taking a look at that. But let me welcome you all, who are joining on this call. This is weekly websites meeting happening every Monday. And so another Monday, another sites meeting where we'll be discussing about all the changes that you all have done on sites. There are a couple of standing agenda items as well, and myself, Sudhanshu, will be talking about them. If any one of you have any issues or PRs that you have up around sites, or even if it's assistant, feel free to mention them in this docs. I'll be quickly sharing this docs once again. Feel free to mark your attendance as well. So a couple of you are already writing your name, so that's good. If you have not yet, please do. And yeah, we are live as well. So before we get started with the topics, let's follow our tradition, and that is, if you're joining the site's call for the very first time, this is your moment. Take the stage and unmute yourself. Tell us about from where you are, joining this call, and your interest, which part of the project or the community you are most interested to contribute, and what's your tech skill, any language that you are trying to learn or are already making projects in. So let me quickly take a look if we have any newcomer on the call. And looks like we have Ishan on the call, and I hope that this is very first time for him to be joining this call. If that's the case, do you mind unmuting yourself and giving your quick intro, Ishan?
Yes, this is my first time. So, hello everyone. Myself Ishan Sharma. Currently, I am a sophomore CS major here at Manipal University. I'm joining this call from Jaipur, but I'm originally from Mumbai. I'm a full stack developer, and I'm currently learning Rust and Go as well. So, yeah, like I'm currently exploring the repos and seeing where my interest is going.
That's awesome. Thanks a lot for joining the call and also giving your intro to all of us. It's really good to have you on the call. And if you can tell, there are a couple of call for volunteers, as in issues that we need help on that you potentially can contribute to. So stay tuned, and I'll be sure to highlight those areas in which you can potentially help us out and also learn about the project. So thank you, Ishan, for joining the call. Next up, I don't think it's first time for Niladri, if I'm not wrong. They were also on this call last sites call, so that's really great. If you could once quickly confirm.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I was present in the previous call as well, but I didn't actually introduce myself in the previous call, so I can do it now.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, yeah, I'm Niladri Adhikari. I'm from Kolkata, and I'm a full stack developer as well. And my interests are in Golang and JavaScript, and I'm also exploring the layer 5 repositories.
That's really great. Are you already working on any item, or is it you're still looking for something to be getting started?
Yeah, actually got my first PR got merged in the Mishri repository, and I'm also working on a testing feature which haven't even pull requested yet, but I'm still working on it.
That's really great. So you joining the call, I mean, for the second time, and then also having some PR already merged. So that's really great. Talking about testing, so I inferred that you meant end-to-end testing. So yeah, that is an area where we are wanting to make progress, and there were a couple of call for volunteers on, if I'm not wrong, on sites development meeting, also CI/CD meeting, and with it Amit and Pratik are some, and even Yash Sharma. I think also Sudhanshu are some folks who will be hopefully working in this area, so you also can connect to them. And I think we also have a couple of ongoing items on this. So there is this spreadsheet which tracks which components are yet to be tested, and I think it's pretty good starting point for anyone to be contributing to the project, and while also upskilling themselves. So thanks a lot for your intro, Niladri. And
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Divyanshu, who is also on the call and also has some, so he has one item that we'll be discussing. And I think that it's not, he is not a newcomer, but I'll quickly confirm. Divyanshu, do you mind letting us know whether or not this is your first time joining this call? Or if you have ever...
Hello. No. This is my first time joining. I have never contributed previously to layers but I have previously contributed to few open source projects, like doing it for the past 2 years. For example, like a repository known as WasmEdge. It works. It is also a CNCF project. I contributed. It is a WebAssembly project. I contributed a script and repository related to like that only. So yeah, that's my. I am doing my BTech third year currently. I'm from my college is in Chennai from SRM. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the introduction. And since we have a couple of Divyanshu in the community right now, so that's why I interpreted that it is not for your first time. So, but anyway, thanks a lot for joining and also giving your introduction, Divyanshu.
Thank you.
And that is it, folks. Now let's get rolling with the topics. And this is something that I always do, and that is once again sharing this doc. So for those of you who may have rejoined or are just joining, you have access to this docs. Feel free to write your name, your identities, and any agenda items that you have. You also can mention them. We will be first covering standing agenda items. So Sudhanshu and myself will be talking about these briefly, and then we'll be having this quick discussion, and then we'll be going in the sequence on the various issues that we have and the PRs that we have on these sites. So for discussing MDX migration and system documentation, and I think also the quick discussion, Sudhanshu, do you mind taking the stage and walking us all through?
Sure. Just a second. I share my screen. Okay. I have my screen visible. So it's been already discussed in few of the earlier calls, and yeah, like it's from my side, it's not still like I've been busy in other things, so I'm not progressing yet. But I'll get to the issue again as I discussed previously also. So we have this layer 5 sites running on Gatsby, and Gatsby is basically a library, a React framework, and we upgraded few months back to its current version, which is V5, right? And during this migration, many of these dependencies got changed and upgraded. One of its upgrade which was left behind, was MDX, Gatsby's plugin, which is MDX plugin, which is responsible for reproducing and using MDX pages, basically blogs, resources, events pages inside layer 5. So that is responsible for and how it's generated from this plugin called MDX. Now, this has to be upgraded, which is Gatsby's latest plugin, MDX, which is V5, I guess, yeah, with its parent version, MDX, which is another, if you guys get confused, there are MDX, this is the main component Markdown it supports internally, and which we have to upgrade. It's this Gatsby own plugin MDX, right? So yeah, this has to be upgraded with its latest release, and there is a migration changes, dependency, everything has been mentioned in its documentation. So currently there is a PR which I was working on. If I just go ahead, and it's been little bit of 2 weeks, it's been not been upgraded. If I just go to the next. Okay, yeah, this is the PR. If you see lots of pages, so it's like obviously because there are 1,000 plus MDX pages. So with YAML front matters and everything. So that's why you're seeing 39 front changes. So yeah, there are much conflicts because every night these pages gets changed. Now, if there's not been progress from my side like for 2 weeks, but I will be looking. Just I get some time for myself. So yeah, if you guys have any doubts or if you want to work on it, if you want to provide reviews, or if you are willing to go and help in my like me in this way, feel free to comment in the PR, or if you think you can go ahead, of course, create a PR which I will be contributing on or helping you with stuff. But yeah, this is the current progress, and if you have any questions, let me know. So yeah, I will wait for
Sudhanshu?
a few seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, so like whatever you shared was crystal clear, but to drive a little more context for everyone,
Mhm.
will it be cool for you if I do voiceover and I ask you to, share some of the pages?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so let's once take a look at layer 5 IO/blog. So folks, the site that we are discussing right now, which Sudhanshu mentioned, is a Gatsby site. Gatsby is one of the framework based on React. And the blog section that you see in the site, which is one of the areas where we leverage this Markdown plugin. So all this blog that you see, since this is a React site, and basically, whenever we want to publish any content on any React site, that we write in JSX. But doing that for all these much blog is not, possible. I mean, it's not feasible. And so we have, Gatsby really integrates very well with this MDX plugin, which what we do, we have a collection. So Sudhanshu, now if you once go to the collections, folder and also into the blog. So for various content that we publish on this site, we make collection for all of them. And similarly, as you would guess, for blog too, we have a collection that is named blog. And in there, like year-wise, we have all these blogs written in just MDX syntax. So, and which is pretty simple to write. So let's say if someone who may not be very much into React and JSX, if they want to publish any blog, they don't have to know about anything related to JSX, its syntax, or any detail about it. They simply can utilize the Markdown syntax to write the blog or any content, and the plugin takes care of how it is rendered into the site, eventually. And you see, this is really has made it very easy to publish blog for anyone, whether or not they are into a technical side of the things, or if they are someone who just want to quickly publish any content. This is where this Markdown plugin helps us. And this is just one area. There are other areas as well, like news. Then there's press release, events too. We have around 350 plus integrations, which all have files in Markdown syntax only. And we utilize these files as the source of truth for all of them. So yeah, this site, which is again based on Gatsby, we did a major migration. In fact, Sudhanshu did that. It was, I guess, around 80,000 lines, of code changes. And so now, in part with that upgrade, Gatsby upgrade, we need to also migrate us from the older version of MDX plugin to be compatible with the latest one. We are right now running on the old Markdown plugin version only. We are using a hack. I will not say hack, but there's this concept of, including a flag that lets us eventually, get away with the older version. It's called peer dependency somewhere. It will be in package.json, in the script. Yeah, so this is something that also needs help. And so if you like to, offer your assistance in further debugging the issue, or if you have any insights to move forward, that would be really helpful. You will need to build that branch that Sudhanshu shared, and then from there try to help us out, like how we can move forward. So that would be about it. If you have any questions on whatever I shared, or anything that Sudhanshu has to say, you can ask right now into the chat box or also unmuting yourself.
And I'll just include one more thing. Like I shared this particular MDX also. This is the parent component which supports the Gatsby plugin MDX. So if you go to this thing and see this particular, this is what this MDX is. Now, when you upgrade to this recent version of Gatsby, this will removed because the latest version will automatically support this package. So you don't have to do this. And also this MDX React version will be upgraded to 2. So there will be the major changes. All are like supporting changes around that, but they are the major changes which will be behind the MDX plugin. Yeah. So yeah, there I wait for a few seconds, and if we can go ahead.
Danshu, if you could share the PR's link, so folks, like if they want to take a look later, they also can.
Sure. Okay, I'll move ahead now to the next thing, which is system documentation. So I'll first discuss this quick discussion because it's I was having like we were having low on agenda, so I thought it's good thing to discuss because we are now following our own system design system. So if you go to this products and open source projects and System. So System is basically our own design system, like in-house design system, if you would say. So we all know what design system means, like all using already reusable components and colors, themes, and everything. You would see little bit less components here, but like it's not the case. We have components just need to be documented because it's a newborn thing. Yeah. So System, basically we have our own repo of System. If you go to just this repo, which is layer 5 IO System. So it's based on TypeScript and every components like base components, which internally is basically supported by Material UI. And from using base components, we make many custom components. We have themes, typography, like everything been defined properly over here. Now, if I would talk about specifically about theme and how would you use those components. So if you go to this color identity and there is a bunch of information out there, I'll just quickly share which is important to know about. I just guidance. Okay, there are a bunch of hex code colors. Like these are the very general colors which we use. If outside of this color, if we want to use, there is another, like before I have to follow a few things because we have to stick with proper theme and consistent colors. Now using this general colors, we create a tokens, which is basically we mean by semantic category. Now, if you read these tokens, they are very meaningful to read, like background default, background secondary, background over. So it's by reading, you can see that it's mean that if you want to add a over color to a background, so you just use this token. Now it has a meaning why it's been written like that. If you just go down below and just sub section, I have to go to guidance. Yes. So if you see this definition like type, role, prominence, and interaction. So type means if you're using for a background, if you're using for text, if you're using for a border, if or you are using particular to your component, right? So background means any normal background you use. If it's a default, which is basically a normal default black and white, and if it's interaction is also default, like if you just basically this is the default background, right? If you want to hover something like when you do this, so you'll use this interaction. So by name, you can see that what its type, role, and what its interaction would be. And this is just the prominence, first, second, and tertiary. So yeah, this way we use our tokens. So for example, if you want to add color to any button, so you just use background theme.palette.background.default. And if it's over, default background dot over, right? So this is a way we add colors to any components. And why I'm like discussing these things, and you will be seeing many other last recordings of the meeting also we discuss this thing, because we want to consistent with this theme, font, and everything. So whenever you do changes in the code, you can add component, right? In Meshri UI or Layer 5 or anywhere where assistant is being used, you have to stick with its token, its theme, and everything, right? Now, if I come, this is the way, like it's not so hard. It's just a normal thing. What colors are basically every theme uses. Now, if you come to again the Layer 5, and so this is the documentation, right? If you go to components, if you go to box, this is the box component, its guidance, how can you use it, and how you can use the copy, like just show the code and copy the code. Now there are few components which are left behind to add, and if you can go to layer 5 issues, just use the label assistant to find any system related issues, and you will see bunch of like components, right? Select, stack. Few of them you might see they are assigned, but I think many of them are not being consistent. So I have also removed few, so I'll also remove all if they are not in there. So it's time to like understand if you are already new, want to contribute to layer 5, it's a good first thing. And to get a foothold to the layer 5 and every projects, this is the base to understand the design system and understand components, how you can use, how it's been imported from layer 5 system repo, right? How it's been packaged and everything. And because when you use these components, you will get to understand the code base also where it has been used. So yeah, it's a good time to document those components, understand those. And yeah, if you have any doubts, just ask in UX channel of Slack. Will help you to understand how you can add those components. But it's pretty straightforward. There are already merged PRs if you want to contribute on, so you can take reference. There are tutorials, meeting recordings. There are a bunch of resources to help you and just document those quickly. So yeah, this was about quick discussion about how you can use theme, how you can system documentation you can use, how you can contribute on system documentation. So I also discuss including this the open issues with related to system, and there is a training. I think it's a YouTube meeting recording, which I think Videta or someone has been shared. So yeah, you can look out. There are a bunch of resources actually. So yeah, this was pretty much about Systent. And now I think Vivek could quick discussion of catalog in Meshri.io, public facing catalogs.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tanshu. So in order to browse through all the system documentation items that Tanshu was discussing, you can utilize the link that is in chat and also in the docs. So there's this. And yep, we also had one training session given by Vidit, who is also on the call and is active contributor into this area. So you also can take a look where he takes you through how you can set it up locally to making code changes. So I think that would be helpful if you are looking into contributing into Systent. So that would be it. Let me quickly cover about catalog, what it is, and how you can, make use of it. So there are a couple of places where we have public-facing catalog of cloud-native design apps. So and like I'll be sharing the addresses where we have them. The one would be Cloud Catalog. The link is in chat, and then the next up is this static site Meshri.io/catalog. So Meshri and its extensions as Cloud Native Manager provide this ability to have all of your cloud native infrastructure as a design. So the one that you are currently looking at, it's a design, and it also has in it a cloud native infrastructure which you can actually play around with. What components are in there? What is their configurations? The same thing that you would do through a CLI, like you play around with the kubectl command, you write some YAML files, some configuration files. You can do them all through a visual. There are two modes into the tool, but basically the idea is that you can take a look at what this infrastructure does, which are technology that is in it, and how you can get access to it in a live Kubernetes cluster environment where you can actually take a look at its functions. You also can do a couple of actions that is in there, and you would find extensive docs on them. All you have to do is simply click on to this open in playground button, and then you can see it for yourself. So, and as you can see, there are a couple of things in the catalog, like there are a couple of filters based on technology, also various types. Similarly, you can utilize these filters as well. They're top performance section. So, take a look at that. Similarly, the same content, but in a little different format is available on this site, where you can utilize these filters again and can take a look at the various design apps that we have. And they're not only designs, but different types of pattern like models. Very soon there will be some filters as well. So this is a work in progress. And Fahim, who is one of the contributors, I think we are missing him on the call today. He was also to give some update on this. So hopefully we'll be catching up with him soon. But yeah, right now, if you take a look at any of the designs, for example, if I open this one, AWS Cloud Front Controller, I have it opened in a new tab. So this is the link for it. In here, you can read, it was created by Bhuminjay, who was one of the contributors. And in fact, you can click on it and it will take you to Bhuminjay's cloud profile. And then you can read about what this design does and various things about it. And yeah, if you want to download it, you also can download it. So it will eventually download a YAML configuration file for this infrastructure that you can do like whatever you want to do with it, as you would with any infrastructure in any format, like whether it's a Kubernetes manifest file or Docker Compose file or Helm chart. You simply can download it, or you also can download it and then import it into the playground. So if I click on open in playground, it will be opening this design file for me. But know that this YAML file that you will download, or any other Kubernetes manifest file that you may already have with you, like maybe a pod definition file or anything else, you also can import them into the playground. So I think it's a pretty hands-on tool to learn about DevOps, cloud native technology, or even if you want to make your life easier while you're debugging some DevOps issues. And in fact, you can do it collaboratively. And what I mean by that is, right now, like this docs, it's pretty collaborative in nature, that I can see all your avatars. And if I hover, I can see that Mahadevan is on this particular line. We can make changes together. Similarly, you can do it for designing and operating your cloud infrastructure. So all of your team can come together on the canvas and can do all sorts of things that you would do normally in the CLI. So yeah, I think that should get you some idea around the tool and its capabilities. You can, anytime you can check this out for yourself. So the links that I shared, you can follow along and you will be good to go. In fact, we have many tutorials to get you started. And I will not shy away from sharing them. And my favorite one, and I think pretty beginner friendly, would be this one: designing and deploying Kubernetes pods in Meshi Playground. So let me also share that really quick. So Sangram, one of the CI maintainer, has discussed about, created this tutorial that you can follow along to know more about the tool. So yeah, that would be all about the catalog. We will now go on to the site. And the first, so these are already discussed, like the open issues and the training session given by Vidit. We will move on to discuss this update from Mahadevan, and I think Mahadevan is on the call. So Mahadevan, do you mind taking us through the changes that you have done?
Hi. Yes. Should I share my screen?
Yeah, sure. So that's the normal, way of doing it. First giving
Yes.
context on the issue and then sharing your progress and changes that you have done.
Yes. Yes. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is. But no, you don't need to ask whether or not it's visible. We will let you know if it's not so.
Okay, so this was the issue. As you can see, there was a responsiveness issue which I discussed with Vivek on the last meeting, on the newcomers meeting, that this text and image were overlapping, and I fixed this in this PR, where I increased the margin style tag in the program get styles.js, where I just increase the margin bottom, and on the deployed site, which the layer 5 bot has given us, it is, we can see that the issue has been solved and it is not overlapping with the text and image are not overlapping anymore. That's it from me on this issue. Any suggestions or feedback?
So this is good progress. If you could once also show the mobile version of it, so we'll be all good to go.
Yes. 1 second. So let's switch this to mobile view and just go to any random one. I think yes. So these are the mobile views. Maybe you could add some space between this. I think that is a change that I can do now, to add a little bit of space between build your career and this header. But other than that, the image overlap section is fixed. And another suggestion that I wanted to make was maybe just increase the spacing between the paragraphs here and the borders, if you can see my mouse. Otherwise, this page is Fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so by spacing you meant like left and right padding, right?
Yeah, padding for the text, and maybe justify this, so or something of that sort. But
Yeah,
yes, I
so
think I'll be adding a bit of space between these two lines to make sure they are, yeah, slightly evenly spaced.
any feedback from anyone on this particular change?
Yeah, I like add a padding between both of them as you have stated, and uh, we can make it is okay to be a justify center, right? So it
Yeah.
is text is aligned center, so
Mhm.
above like two paragraphs.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Then I'll add some padding between the text, and I'll increase the spacing between these two, and I'll
Mm.
add the changes to the PR.
Sure.
Thank, thank you.
Looks good to me. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Madhavan, for this update.
Yes, thank you.
Next up, we'll be having this update from Divyanshu on filtered tab overlapping. So let's take a look if we have Divyanshu on the call. Yep, we do. So Divyanshu, do you mind sharing your update?
Yeah. Just a second. Share my screen. So yeah, uh, the issue that was present on the layer side, it was basically, this is the layer side official one. So basically, this filter tab which is present here, it was overlapping the top navbar when hovering over it. So basically, I introduced a position attribute, which we can see here. Yeah. So basically, I added a position attribute and I set the Z index for the uh, button, this one, the filter tab. So after deploying it, after the bot gave me the Netlify deployed link, we can see that it's not like overlapping the tab for now with anyone.
I'm
So yeah,
seeing this issue now like, frequently in other pages like
yeah,
last.
it's present. Yeah. This issue is also there. I'll show you. I think this page. Wait. No. My bad. Just a second. I'll
uh,
share it.
if
Was
you go
under
to
the,
blog, yes.
yeah. Blog page was there,
Mm.
and I think it's in the news page also. I have a like fix for this issue also. I mentioned it in the PR. So I was asking that if I should open a new issue for this, or should I like put a commit in this PR only mentioning it.
No, like since if I think like there are
Yeah.
multiple pages, then it should be issue with the navbar itself, this particular component in the header.
Yeah. It's a issue I think with the navbar because
Then it should
these
be,
buttons don't have a position attribute, so
yeah,
we
then
can't
it should
define
be
a Z index.
fixed. Yeah, then it should be fixed at once, like in one place.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I thought because I saw a similar PR in on the repo that was like working on this only,
yeah,
which was
so
fixing the top navbar
yeah,
only. Yeah,
yeah,
I
so it's
think it.
not a right
Yeah, it's not.
way to yeah niche pages. So if you go to like there is another contributor working on different aspect of this page.
Mm, yeah, I
So
saw
if you
that
go
PR.
to, yeah, if
I,
you go to his PR and review his one, so we can like if he doesn't respond back or anything, you can also create a PR which
okay.
can be fixed
Sure.
once,
Sure.
not like
Because I saw, I think it was, it was this PR only. He worked on the navigation thing only, PR we have. So I was like trying to
okay.
test with
Then
this one.
go review his PR like the Netlify preview, which it if it looks good, then approve.
Oh, yeah.
Then
Okay. Sure. Because I didn't see his like Netlify app. I'll just check it once.
So yeah, it makes sense what Sudhanshu, suggested, and in fact, you also were resonating on that. So yep, this is really
Oh,
good.
yeah. It's fixed on this. Yeah. As we can see, it's
On
fixed
blog
on
page,
this community, and I think on blog also, I think it's fixed. Yeah, the search icon is not hovering over it.
Yeah,
I think
thoroughly
And
check like each pages.
yeah, I'll check. Uh, yeah, these buttons are also not overlapping.
In mobile and everything. So yeah, you can check out in your time.
Yeah, sure. I'll check it. Yeah. Okay.
also like integrations, if we once take a look at integrations pages, so the search icon that
Yeah, I
you
think
open,
yeah.
it
Yeah,
fixed there.
integration page. Yeah, it's fixed there. I think it's universally fixed for that. We can go through it once again for all, just rechecking. Yeah.
So then I think we have got our fix here. Like
Yeah. Because I saw the PR, so I thought I should mention that in the meeting. Yeah.
that's really good of you. So that's really great
Okay.
community mindset. So thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Divyanshu.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like
I was looking for the system documentation, thinking to add documentation for the different buttons. I am still looking for trying to work on the issue. So I'll add a PR as soon as possible, as I
That
have
is
a draft.
awesome. In
Yeah.
fact, there are any number of resources. In fact, folks on the call right now, like Sudhanshu, and since Sudhanshu is busy on other items as well, Vedit, CAF is also on here, which you can reach out to them through public Slack channels, and I think they will be more than happy to help you out into this particular effort. So, yeah, hopefully you will be working on those items, Divyanshu, and we'll have your PR.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your updates, Divyanshu. So we will be hopefully having next update from Fahim on catalog, but looks like we're missing Fahim on the call. Yep, we are. So then I wonder, since Jayshree is on the call, Jayshree, so by any chance, do you have any more update since the last time we talked on your update on system documentation? So if yes, you can share that hopefully. Or if not, you also can let us know through chat or unmuting yourself. So are you there, Jayshree? Yeah, so do you by any chance have any update since last we talked on the component would like to share, or you're making progress right now and would later discuss about it? I think Jayshree will be discussing that later. So let's take some call for volunteers, and the first one would be creating more of these templates. And since all of these have very descriptive issues, I will just simply be taking you through one of them. And, as you saw, there are a couple of same issues based on same description. So basically, you would need to use this tool that is Canvas, which is built on top of one of the Mysteries extension, which lets you once again, do all the things that you would do in normal command line tools in a visual, way. You would just simply, so just like when you for the first time visit any designer tools like Figma, you are presented with some of the starter templates that you can just get started without having to do anything yourself. Similarly, we would use some starting template in Canvas for various infrastructure. So this is one of the many issues open on this particular type of issues. So if this is something you would like to work on, you simply can comment, and then we'll be all good to assign you. I'm sure that if you once go through this, it will make more sense, and you can ask Ankita, and she will also be explaining and clarifying it more. So what I will do is simply drop this particular issue in chat. And then we'll be just quickly talking about some of the tutorials that if you have some background in cloud native or DevOps, you can help us curate some of the tutorials on cloud native technology. So this is one of the many, once again, child items on an Epic issue. So let's once go to that particular Epic issue. Yeah, so it once again has very descriptive details in there, like why it is needed, how you can do it. And yeah, inside it, there are many open issues right now. Some of them are, in fact, closed and completed. So if you are working on it, you also can take inspiration from them. But if we for now navigate to any one of these open issues, you can see that it outlines the framework that is in there that facilitates you by just having your content ready. You can leverage all the ready-made template that is there. So you don't need to write any HTML or CSS. You just simply can write it in this way, adding these front matter files, and you will be all good to go. So only content that you would need would be in Markdown syntax, some screenshots or videos. That will be all. So yeah, if you want to help us with creating more tutorials, you also can suggest topics on your own. You simply can comment in this particular thread, or if you would like to work on any existing ones. So Sangram has created a couple of these. You can once again ask for assignment. Be aware that for these you will need to be having understanding of Mishri as a project, then also some of the other Kubernetes concepts, maybe some other CNCF tools as well. So yeah, if you are feeling confident, you can definitely work on these issues. Next up, we are just in time as Vidit has added this particular item. So Vidit, do you mind sharing us this update if you're all set?
Yeah, sure. I can share my screen. Can you share my screen? Share the
Yeah.
PR?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this PR fixes we don't have a consistent font across the few components, few base components so this PR fixes that font category. So by default, we are not providing any font to these components like a link or a group button and the app pass. So I have provided a pass uh, typography in which I have passed a font family. So small question is regarding in under the font family there are few fonts. Uh, just a sec. So few fonts where order of precedence matters here. So I have provided in the chat in the font family, first we use a soft regular, then Roboto and another Arial and Sans Serif. So do we have to list this number of fonts or require few fonts like Quenless, so soft regular and Sans Serif? We can remove the Roboto and the Arial fonts because if a user does not have these fonts, so the order of precedence matters, and we can skip this font. So that's my question.
We need to ask, I think, in UX channel and tag Antoinette because she was, I think, initiated this font family. I think
Yeah.
these were all in the Meshri at initial, so she copy pasted from there. So
Okay.
I can provide reviews, but it should be like every should have have their own reviews, feedback. So do ask in the UX channel and ask similar way that the precedence matters and should be required. I think so. It will
Yeah.
help others to give feedback.
Yeah, like during testing, so it was showing me Arial for the some drop downs. So
Yeah,
sure, I will
but
be
it couldn't
posting the
be
UX
due
channel.
to Arial couldn't be due to the precedence, but it could be due to conflicting overriding fonts. So
Mhm.
just a second. Okay. Yeah, it could be due to overriding fonts. So do check that any parent component doesn't providing that, so it would override this font family. But I think now Meshri is using System entirely, so shouldn't be an issue. So do check out that way. So it shouldn't be overriding because most of them, and it's not basically that on the user's way. We are providing this precedence.
Mhm.
So yeah, do ask this in UX channel and do check that it's not overriding from any parent component that you are saying showing Arial because it
Yeah,
shouldn't be
sure.
like that.
Thank you, Sudhanshu.
Thank you, Vidit. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, that's all from my side. You can proceed.
Yeah, anyone has any thoughts or questions around it? Let's quickly take those. I see Caf has one. I think his mic is unmuted. So, Caf, do you mind asking your? So also with it, just to be sure, have you tested locally? I see a comment from Amit on So did you by any
Yeah,
chance get?
I was testing the font family, and yeah, it's worked. So I will be providing a screenshot and posting in the GitHub PR.
Awesome. For anyone wondering, this is System Repo site that we were talking about System a lot. So there are a couple of issues open right now. You can work on them. But yeah, the PR link is also in chat. So if you'd like to take a look at this particular one, you can do that. I think the next item would be for us to be taking a look at this leaderboard. So let me quickly share this with you all in chat box. And what I would like for all of us on the call to do is simply navigating to it and let me know if this is loading for you. If for anyone it's broken, there's potentially an issue like in the way it's implemented, the leaderboard. It's talking to Discourse API, and there are a couple of other moving parts involved. So if once you all can open the link that is in chat and can confirm whether or not it's working fine for you, the code for this particular site is located at this location. So let's also quickly take a look at that. So many of you are saying it's working fine for you, but reportedly it sometimes breaks. So if any one of you would like to know where the code is located for this particular site and the page, it's inside site in this particular repo, that is Layer 5 Labs. I'll be quickly grabbing the link and we'll share in chat. And in here, like this is again a gas group, and we have leaderboard in here. So if I switch as I switch tabs, it does this loading. So I'm not sure whether or not this is something we would need to fix if this is not wanted, like this is not the desired effect for us to be having. But yeah, if any one of you would like to take a look at the code and will help us, determine whether or not there's an issue in the underlying issue in the implementation of this particular leaderboard, that would be such a help. So, and if you in the process, if as you are doing it, you need any help or any clarification around it, you can once again sound off in the website channel. So all will be there to provide their guidance. But that would be basically it on leaderboard. So basically, this leaderboard is taking all the data from our community forum. So this is our community forum, and by the way, for those of you who may not be frequently posting on it for any one of your conversations, please do. So whether it's a enhancement proposal or any general questions that you have around projects or community, it's really good to be posting them on here, because in future, if someone else has the same questions as you, they get benefited from the discussions that's happening in your thread. So yeah, so all the data that you see on this leaderboard is getting populated from this particular the API of this system, which is a Discourse plugin for our community. So, and Discourse is a pretty popular way of having a community. So we are using an instance of that. It runs in a Docker container. So there's a bunch of tutorials and material there that you can check out. But yeah, this will be the source of truth for. In fact, we also have that in here. So if you take a look at users, these kind of things, I think similar we see on here too. Yeah, just the point is different. Total points. There would be some way to be calculating that, but yeah, most of it is in the same way. So yeah, I think if any one of you are volunteering for taking a look, you also can verify whether or not it's working fine by taking a look at this particular table that we see. And if they are not this similar, so then definitely there's something to be investigating about in the code that I shared. All right, so I think for us, that's all that we had to discuss. I'll quickly also, share this call for volunteers. So in the community, we have, hi Mahadevan, I think your hand is raised. You can, go on and.
Hi, I actually had one small thing to discuss. I was going through the Meshri repos, and except Meshri/Meshri repo, I think the other Meshri repos do not have a node version manager .nvm rc file. And is that intended that way? Because there's no then there's like only Meshri/Meshri has the .nvm rc file. I just wanted to know if that is intended that way, like the other layer 5IO file repos or the other ones don't have the file. Because I actually had an issue while switching node versions yesterday. So I just went around looking for it and I couldn't find any.
Banshu or Vidit, do you by any chance have any questions or answer around that?
Just say what you are asking about nvm dot nvm.
.nvm RC file that's there in Meshri repo for server and UI both. But for layer 5 IO / layer 5 repo or maybe the assistant or even the extensions packages repo that Vivek just sent on the chat, none of them have a version management file, node version manager file, which can help maybe preserve the node versions while say bumping other package versions. It's there as in
Yeah, I can
default
see
can be
that.
taken from package.json, but I think only Meshri repo has that file. So I just wanted to know
Yeah,
if
it
that.
could be because sometimes Linux like CNCF has few rules. I think due to that it's been added there like primarily. So and it's not been added in other places. But yeah, it's required, and I think it should be. But yeah, you are right. Point is right. But yeah, I'm sure it does have it.
And I think we
Could be.
yeah, and I think we're also fixed for node versions, or there's this general rule that if this is uh, equal to or before this version, you are all fine. Like for Gatsby, it's possible for them to be supporting multiple versions of Node. So and like the standard setup guide that is there is just simply you need to do make UI setup and make site. That's all you need to do. And I think it's not very restrictive on the Node version for this particular project, Layer 5 IO, which is the Gatsby static framework that may be taking care of all of it. But yeah, the UI that is pretty heavy and also has some strict rules around it. So it makes sense to have a dedicated file for that. But yeah, you simply also can open an issue on Layer 5 IO for also having it potentially there so that all the other folks who also can chime in and say if there's
Fine.
something
I'll
to
create
say.
an issue for this on layer 5 IO and any other repository which I feel like should maybe have one. Thank you.
Yeah, so ideally you would do it for this site and the site, I mean the badges site that we are taking a look at in Layer 5 Labs organization. Other than that, like Meshri/Meshri.io and for example, the one that I'll be just sharing, like this one, these are Hugo and Jekyll sites, so they will not be given a shit. I mean, it's not needed there, but yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully,
yeah.
Mhm.
I'll do it for the layer 5 repository and the other one you talked about.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Mahadevan. So the last call for volunteers would be we'll be discussing about this particular site, which is docs layer 5 IO. It's a Hugo site. And currently there's this call for volunteers. So for any one of you, if you once go to the any sections on Canvas, like this one, there's this carousel for videos, and through using this button you can navigate left and right. But it would be, since there's room, it would be good if we have at least 2 of these cards, or even if one one part, I mean half, that would also work. So there's code around it already. You will need to tweak some settings in the carousel, and if you would like to work on it, it would be something that should get you started and will not be very tough to do, I guess. So yeah, I see one volunteer already in the chat. So I'll be asking whether or not you have set up this site. And it's pretty simple to set it up. You will find contributing.md again in the repo root of the repo. But yeah, if more than one folks would be wanting to work on it, I've shared the link in chat. So thanks a lot, Aman, for volunteering. Definitely will be signing you. So that would be all for today. I don't think we have any more new, call for volunteers or any item from any one of you. And we have like 2 minutes more. Anything that anyone wants to share on websites or UI or assistant? Yes,
Hi.
then we can take it. Hi.
Hi, one more thing. Yes, one more thing. I was going through MUI 5 to assistant conversion issues, And I mean, a lot of PRs were raised and some of them were merged, but the issues aren't closed. I mean, I think some of them were closed today. I think Sudhanshu, I closed a lot of the issues today. But I think in the last meet, the development meet, there was an Excel sheet which showed the tracking progress for the MUI v5 assistant progress. So, I mean, I'd like to contribute to this change. So, if possible, yeah, if I could have the Excel sheet or maybe anything that lets me know.
Yeah, we have the Excel sheet, but if I think like we have quite a good progress around there. I think Amit helped and resolve all the PRs. So I think though it's supported, but I'll share the spreadsheet. I think if he has updated or not, but I think most of them are covered. So if you go
Yeah,
to Meshri UI, right, and Meshri repo, and search for any labels with MUI core, like CORE. So if you find any file like that, so then you need to migrate it. Otherwise, I think they are all.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Now it's
and like
most
you are
important.
on point.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just quickly wrap up. Like, it's important that if most of them are already migrated. So if you want to contribute, do check out that this machinery repo uses extensively system tokens theme, right? As I earlier explained in initial like starting of this meeting. So like any random n- hex codes or any random color names should not be like neglected until and unless it's been imported from system itself. So do check out that, maintain that thing. If there you see, you should remove those and use extensively existing colors palettes. So that would be important also.
Yes, I'll keep that in mind. I'll go through the and raise issues if needed. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sudhanshu and Mahadevan. So, folks, like I'll share this docs link in chat. So, for all of you who are yet to write their name in the attendees, please do. It's your way of marking your attendance for the call. And talking about Mahadevan's point, so that's really a valid suggestion. It could be that couple of things would be accidentally left. So yeah, just like Sudhanshu mentioned, it would be really helpful if you could once go around, take a look, and if we are missing anything from anywhere, we should be very consistent about using the MUI, and us having migrated to newer version of MUI and system component, it should be consistent throughout the project and the UI. So that would be such a help if you once go and come back and say that yep, we are now consistently doing it everywhere and there's nothing left. So thanks a lot for volunteering up for that. The spreadsheet that we were talking about is also linked in chat. So I think that is it for today, everyone. We are running over the time, and I appreciate you all joining and participating in the meeting. If you have anything that you would like to present on the next call, it's around Systent or sites, I welcome you to do that. We'll be meeting the same time, same Indian Standard Time and Central Time next Monday, and we also have many other meetings around the week. So one more thing before we end the call, and that would be this community calendar. So let me also grab this and share with you all in chat really quick. As it loads, I'll just say one thing, and that is all that you need to know about various community meeting and project meetings, the meeting minutes, and where you would find the link to join them. It's all in this particular page. So yeah, that would be it. You can go and take a look. Yeah, once again, thank you all